Welcome to Biology Access. In today's class, I'll be talking about a basic topic in ecology, the biogeochemical cycle. If you know you are new to this channel, please kindly press the subscribe button and put on the notification so that you get notified whenever I post a new video. The biogeochemical cycles mainly refers to the movement of nutrients and other elements between the biotic and the abiotic component of the earth. In summary, it's simply the movement of nutrients, elements, or materials, the circulation of these things in nature. That is the summary of biogeochemical cycle. We know that the earth is almost like a closed system where there is no material escaping into the outer space as such. So materials are constantly being converted from one form to another, and they are constantly being recycled. This process forms the basis for the biogeochemical cycles. There are various elements and substances that are cycled in nature, and they include the water, which forms the water cycle, the carbon cycle, the nitrogen cycle, the oxygen cycle, sulfur cycle, phosphorus, and the rock cycle. We'll discuss some of these cycles, and in part 2 of this video, we'll discuss the remaining of this cycle. Let's take a look at the water cycle. The water cycle is simply the circulation of water in nature, the movement of water between the earth, the atmosphere, and even the body of living organism. This is called what? The water cycle. And let's take a look at the simple diagram on the board. Let's assume that this is the water body. Everything about the water body, the rivers, the ocean, the sea, is the water body. Now, water escapes from the water body into the atmosphere through a process called what? Evaporation. And this vapor moves upward, and as it's going upward, as you move upward, the temperature decreases, which eventually result to what? Condensation. All right? Which result to what? Condensation. So water can move up and condense. All right? Now, once this water undergoes condensation, it can also fall back to this water body through a process called precipitation. So we can decide to put our arrow here. This water is going down, while here, water is going up. Is it okay? All right. So, on land, we know that water body can also escape through a process called evaporation. So, on land, water can also evaporate. Then the plant can lose water through a process called transpiration through their leaves. Can also lose water during respiration, or when the plant died, they decay, water also move into the atmosphere. Animals, for instance, also undergo the same thing. Perspiration, they want lots of water from their skin. Respiration, when you respire, you lose certain amount of water. Decay, when the animal die, water is being lost. All these give rise to water, or give water to the atmosphere. When the water also move up, you know that they undergo what we call condensation, forming cloud. This can also fall back towards the land or to the water through a process called precipitation. So precipitation, we have our water coming down into the land, which is being also absorbed back by what? The plant and others. Water can also move down into the aquifer through a process called percolation or drainage, in which this water at the aquifer eventually is released or enter the land through stream. You see water leaving the ground, sometimes in the desert and various places, forming what? Stream. So you realize that once the water comes out from the ground again, it's also undergo evaporation. So there is this constant circulation of water in nature. That simply forms the basis of water cycle. And what is the importance of water? We know that water is very essential for life, necessary for digestion, and various metabolic processes require water. So details of the function of water is being displayed on the board. Let's go to the next cycle, carbon cycle. Carbon cycle is simply a series of events that occur in nature in which carbon circulates in nature, usually from the hydrosphere to living organism, plant and animal, to microorganism, even to the atmosphere, to the lithosphere. Just the way carbon circulates in nature, that's carbon cycle. Let's just take a look. It is a very simple concept, Let's just take a look at how some of these processes occur. We know that carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is utilized by plants. Even carbon dioxide in the water, dissolved carbon dioxide is utilized by phytoplankton to make their own food during the process of photosynthesis. All right, so you can put this here, photosynthesis. All right, now these plants are eaten by animals, and these animals they carry out what we call respiration, which they give out carbon dioxide back towards the atmosphere. Animals that even plant itself that they decay, and plant itself carry out respiration, they also give back carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. We know that plant and animal remain form fossil, and eventually this fossil, we know a lot of hydrocarbon, a lot of petroleum products that are constantly being what burnt during industrial process, and this process actually give carbon dioxide, which is actually a greenhouse gas to the environment. So this is a very simple concept of how carbon circulates. You can see the diagram of the body, how carbon circulates in nature. The next one that we are going to talk about is the oxygen cycle. We know that the oxygen makes up about 20-21% of the gas in the atmosphere, while the CO2 makes up about 0.01, 0.02 or 0.03. Right? So oxygen in the atmosphere is used by plants during respiration. We know that the waste is actually carbon dioxide, which the plant also utilizes during photosynthesis. Now, during photosynthesis, what is given out as a waste or byproduct? Oxygen. So oxygen is released back into the atmosphere. All right. We know that animals carry out respiration. During respiration, they utilize oxygen to break down their own food, and they release carbon dioxide, which the plant uses to make their carbohydrate. We know that animals, plants remain form what the fossil, which can eventually be, you know, a lot of petroleum products are actually burnt in a process called combustion. Combustion actually releases what CO2, which plants uses, and plant give out what carbon what. For that, the cycles are actually basic, simple processes in nature. 10 people can form cycle and they'll have little degree of variation because it's actually what you can explain with your own experience. All right, thanks for watching our video. Please subscribe to support this channel. In my next video, I'll be talking about the nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, as well as rock cycle. Thank you for watching.